does he, like, pull other metal into his body?
It's
like,
Ferris
why?
biology.
Oh, that's
it's
true.
made of Ferris wheels. Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we're inching through worm. I'm Jenny.
and I'm Ted.
We read Extermination 8.1.
Getting into a new arc.
Can't wait for them all to get exterminated.
Yeah.
Or 1 in 4, perhaps, as seems to be the
Pretty
case.
literal extermination here.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us what happened in this one?
Oh gosh, yeah. Let's get into it.
I mean, not a lot happened, to be fair, but a lot is about to.
I'll summarize it regardless.
Okay.
Tattletale and Skitter are making their way to the meeting point for Brockton Bay's Endbringer defense. They are initially pushing through a throng of people that are evacuating to shelters within the city. Taylor reflects a little bit about how, despite the fact that the rules are very clear, don't try to drive and clog the streets, don't bring disobedient pets, things like that, people are breaking all the rules in their panic and worry about the situation. A police officer hands Taylor and Lisa a pamphlet giving them information about the parahuman response that takes them to a nondescript building between the docks and downtown that is large enough for a number of capes to gather in one place. I'll just kind of list off some of the capes that we run into. Definitely not an exhaustive list, but Taylor sees Dragon arrive flying in a large mech. She then sees a bunch of capes teleport into the building parking lot and is awestruck to recognize Alexandria herself in attendance. Also teleporting in are a number of younger capes that Taylor doesn't recognize, presumably wards, and they make their way into the building, and Taylor first surveys the scene for local capes, notes that some of Empire 88 is here, the Travelers are here, Fault Line's crew is not, Coil is not. The local heroes are all here. She goes through the Protectorate, New Wave, the wards. She sees Armsmaster talking to Miss Militia, and Legend, another member of the Triumvirate, is here.
Not Alec's dad, it turns out.
No. We see Murthan
also
from Chicago.
Not Alec's dad, man.
And Eidolon, the final member of the Triumvirate, kind of standing apart from the other capes. And Taylor, just because they're all here, is sort of thinking like, yeah, these are the 3 toughest capes out there. We hear, well, you count Scion as part of that group of the toughest capes because his powers are just head and shoulders above everyone else. But Eidolon apparently has every power, although he can only use a handful at a time. She talks about like, well, who would win in this kind of fight, like between different teams. But, Scion's at the top, then Eidolon, and then it can be debatable between Dragon, Alexandria, Legend. And she sees some other teams that she's less familiar with. She sees some rogues as well in attendance. Finally, she sees the Undersiders. Not Bitch, actually, but Regent and Gru. And Tattletale leaves her with an apologetic smile and an arm pat, goes over to the other Undersiders, and Gru and Regent studiously ignore Taylor, and she feels bad about it. And she's like, I can't believe I'm here, awestruck by all these famous people, dealing with this incredibly high-stakes situation, and the thing that feels worst is my ruined friendships. And she decides she's going to sit kind of between the Undersiders and the Travelers, and she tries to make eye contact with Sundancer, who also ignores her, and she's like, yeesh, okay, that's also probably not a great relationship right now. And yeah, we could talk about that more. She sees a few more capes show up. Finally, Legend goes to the front and starts to talk. Taylor again is thrilled. A battlefield speech from Legend. Wow. And he starts out pretty positive. We have an early alert. Like, this never happens. We are preparing for Leviathan's arrival. This could be one of the good days. But a good day still means that 1 in 4 of the people in this room will probably be dead before the day is done.
Yeah. Oof.
And that's where we leave the chapter.
Yeah, very much a setup chapter. We got introduced to a lot of people at a distance. It was really a bummer to not be able to turn the page because I'm like, okay, and what's the briefing? What are we in for? Because there's just so much hype. Like, oh my goodness, we hear so much about the Endbringers while not hearing anything about the Endbringer. Taylor includes them in her summary of, like, the big 5, Scion, presumably the Triumvirate. She says the Endbringers because they force everyone else into these situations. We're like, okay, they're going to kill 1 in 4. The only thing we really see that's concrete is when they're looking out at the water. Actually, Dragon is looking out the water. They're looking at her. There's a rainstorm in the distance that's just like sheets of rain. Like almost, it sounded like one of those cartoon situations where it's like sunny sky and then there's a cloud over one person and rain pouring down. That, I think, is the only detail we get. And we get the name Leviathan dropped here.
Yeah.
We still don't really know, I don't know, if the Endbringers are a disparate group. Are they a category? Are they a team? Are they people with similar caliber of powers, similar effects?
Yeah.
Similar gravity of powers? Are they people with all the same power? Is it just one person, but it's pluralized for some reason because it's like a system of entities all in one? It's still unclear, but presumably we're going to find out really soon.
Yeah. Well, does the name evoke anything for you?
I mean, yeah, there's a clear sea monster connection, and it seems like it's coming in through the water. There's a storm over it. There's definitely a sea thing happening. We did hear from Armsmaster and Dragon that, like, the reason they knew this Endbringer was coming was from, like, small changes in air pressure, etc.
Yeah.
So it could be something that, like, lives in the deeps and then comes up to shore every once in a while, which, like, I don't know, you'd think that people would just move inland. Like, I guess it's rare. You also get hurricanes that hit, disproportionately on the shore and people still live by the ocean.
Right.
It did kind of feel like a hurricane, but, like, way, way, way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of Leviathan NATO kind of situation.
Yeah. Right. We don't get much. It's so fun. I mean, it's an excruciating cliffhanger, I'm sure. But I love that moment with Dragon in mech form.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor compares to a gargoyle, just like looking out at the approaching storm. And we also have the sentence that we read in the interlude chapter that starts us out with "the crush of bodies was a tide that Tattletale and I had to push through."
Yeah,
which is another very
imagery.
Ominous scene setting thing. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot more details, but we will get them soon,
Yeah, and
we're bound to.
It seems like whatever this Endbringer is, whatever Leviathan is something that is best fought by parahumans. And in fact, we have parahumans here, even like Parian, who apparently animates like stuffed animals and mascots and dolls, I don't know. Which, you're like, is she going to be helpful? But, like, I don't see evidence of a huge military response other than that. The PRT is there, and so maybe that is sort of the branch of, I mean, they're not exactly military, but the branch of fighting forces that is used against parahumans, and Leviathan is one, so that makes sense. But you'd think if it was something this bad, they would throw everything at it.
Right.
Which would include, like, fighter jets and bombs, and I don't know, like, you'd think there would be some non-parahuman response as well.
Yeah, well, there's a really disturbing thing here, which is the toughest 4 capes, besides Scion, all showed up to this, as well as Armsmaster equivalents from various cities around the US. And even with Taylor saying, like, yeah, these are the 4 of the big 5, Eidolon's head and shoulders above the others, right? Even a full lineup isn't usually enough, right?
Yeah,
That's what she said about it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, it's wild, like the level of power that we have seen demonstrated. The mythos of Alexandria, right?
Right. We've seen such high levels of power demonstrated, and we haven't seen any of the Big Five in action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly, this is an enormous amount of power. And legend is saying, even if we have a good day, which they're hoping for because they have time to prepare, which is great, but even then they're going to lose 1 in 4.
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen, I don't think, a Cape die in any of the fights we've had so far.
Yeah. It's been a pretty low death. We had the notable civilian casualty in the Bakura sequence.
Mm-hmm. The information also gets dropped that these people who are going to the shelters, the expectation is they'll only be there for a few hours. They aren't supposed to bring any kind of supplies except for like urgently needed medical supplies. So the anticipation seems to be like, this thing is going to hit and it's going to move on. Like this isn't like it's here for the long term. Like this is just like a few hours of intense violence is what we're heading for.
Yeah. Well, it's really unfair to ask you to speculate when you have so little information. But yeah, what is then the goal? Like they're going to talk about what's happening, but like given everything you know, like why is everybody showing up? Like what is can you intuit anything about what the strategy is?
That is an interesting question because, like, I'm really surprised that Empire 88 is here.
Yeah.
Maybe they're invested in the city in a way where, like, they want to protect it. Clearly, they don't really care about the people. I'm making gross generalizations. From what I've seen, they have a pretty haphazard approach to people's lives. They certainly don't seem to be hugely selfless, so I'm surprised that they're here. But yeah, I mean, maybe they think they can get a leg up in some way, even though apparently 1 in 4 of them are going to die. So
yeah,
you'd think it would just be a bad idea to show up if you were not feeling heroic.
Yeah.
But again, the Undersiders decided to come. Perhaps Bitch decided not to just now, but
yeah,
we're not sure. We're not really sure what the situation is.
I feel like I don't want to influence what you're thinking, but I will just note that a lot of the people showing up are smart. So there must be a genuine sort of collective action problem here. Like, if it were the case that the damage is just inevitable, we got unlucky, everyone should hide, then nobody would show up, right? So there must be a reason, like it must be if enough of them show up and enough people are willing to risk, there's like a safety in numbers there, or there's some reason. It's not like they're all fools to do.
So what I was thinking was, clearly they're not going to kill this thing. Like, that doesn't seem to be on the table.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Endbringers like spawn, and then that would be fascinating, actually. What if it's like 30 years ago, some human got turned into a parahuman that was like a huge sea monster that like swam to the depths and like has babies. Oh. And, I mean, I don't know if it's the only one. I don't know how that would happen. But like, that would kind of explain the like group, like the plural nature, like if it could keep spawning these creatures.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, presumably they're not out to kill it, but the idea is like, if we can hurt it enough quickly, we can send it away before it does a lot of damage to the city. I was also wondering, like, I mean, the people who are showing up from out of town are pretty much heroes, so maybe they would just do this because of the severity of the damage. But if there's sort of a sense of like, if there isn't that level of response, this thing will just keep going.
Yeah.
Probably not. But it is also sort of a question of like, okay, so it's going to hit. It seems to have some intuitive knowledge or knowledge of current events, I don't know, that tells it what cities are weak.
Right.
And it's going to hit and feed, eat people, eat energy, just like play destructively because it like lives for chaos and, you know, entropy.
Right. It is described like a hurricane, except it seems to have really precise knowledge-based like targeting. Right. Which is very strange. And then,
but also slightly unpredictable.
Yeah. It also, what you were saying, like, is it here to eat? Is it here to feed? Its motive is very opaque. Yeah. Right. The sort of like we know what it targets, but not why.
Right. It's sort of what I was speculating with the travelers. Like, maybe they just like chaos. Maybe this thing just likes chaos.
Yeah.
Maybe destruction is what it wants. Also, if it is a sea monster, does it only attack the shore? That's not really something we heard. I don't know. Maybe there are other kinds of Endbringers that attack different parts of the land. Who knows?
Yeah.
And it must be rare enough also that like they have shelters. There are procedures, like they get pamphlets and stuff and they learn in school like what the procedures are for going to the shelters. But it must be rare enough that people are still willing to live in cities. And in cities on the shore, you know, on the coast.
Lisa's whole attitude was like, don't be morbid, right? It's kind of, it's not like, to me that says like, the chance of it happening is high enough that you're superstitious about it, but not again so high.
You're not like sometime in the next 5 years an Endbringer will hit.
Silly, right? Like,
but serious enough that they're like, if an Endbringer comes, we'll fight it.
Yeah. Which feels, again, it feels very natural disaster because it's kind of like pick your poison, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, right? You're just like, oh yeah, well, we know how the tornado comes, we all go to the basement. And then like maybe once every 25 years, actually, there's a much more dangerous weather situation or something like that. Ooh.
And it seems like maybe there isn't anywhere you could live that's not subject to these attacks, though my sense was that it's more of a city thing. But there are many reasons to live in cities, and if it's not that common that you get attacked.
Yeah, and that's also makes me think of like climate change. The sort of like the thought experiment
we do
of
live
like
on the coast.
Where could you live that would be totally immune? Right.
Could move to Chicago. I'm sure it's not totally immune, but at least probably won't be flooded as soon. Yeah, okay, so that's the Endbringer. We also have all of these capes. I really loved Taylor's sense of awe throughout this chapter. Like, she has said, like, I'm not into the fangirl stuff, but it's clear, and this might not be inconsistent with that, but it is clear that she is just very awestruck, as she says, by Alexandria, by Legend, who's in charge of all, like, the protectorate
and she's like,
capes.
No, I'm literally awestruck. I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, this is real.
I loved that. And Eidolon, who has, like, I guess every kind of power, though he can only have a few at a time. She references these conversations people have about, like, okay, who would win in a fight? Like Legend, who apparently is all about airborne artillery, and Alexandria, who's sort of the airborne bruiser. Yeah. It's kind of like Eidolon clearly would, like, beat anyone, but maybe not Scion, maybe not an Endbringer, you know?
Yeah.
It's so fun to see her attitude. Also, her thing at the end where she's like, pre-battle speech from Legend, this almost made it all worth it. And it's just such a, I mean, she's being a little flip, but it's such a kid attitude of like, absolutely, I'm like so high on my own power and importance and like the company I'm keeping.
Yeah, and this is the other, right, this is like, has been subtext. She has been so good at reflecting on her motives and her decisions about like, well, am I a villain? Am I a hero? But this feeling that she's getting, it's both, oh my gosh, there's Legend and he's talking to Armsmaster, who I talked to. I'm now 2 degrees away. But it's also that she's here. Like, that's why she said yes, or that's a part of why she said yes, not just to come fight the Endbringer, but to being a cape, right? Like her desire to be out there, to be seen, to be powerful, to be part of this club. To do something important, right? Like, that is such a strong motivator for her. And it's not one she is super like self-conscious about in the story so far.
Yeah. What she's getting here is the I'm doing something important thing. But what she's really not getting is I'm a part of the club. Because this feeling of like, ooh, a speech from Legend is counterbalanced by she isn't sitting with her team, her former team, because like Alec and Brian like aren't even looking at her. Like they kind of glance at her and then focus on Tattletale. Tattletale like squeezes her arm and like is kind of apologetic, but then leaves to go sit with the boys. And Taylor ends up sitting between the Undersiders who are ignoring her and the Travelers, where she's like, oh, it's Sundancer. Oh, Sundancer's like very carefully not looking at me. Oh, I guess maybe the thing where I carved out Loong's eyes was a little much for her.
Yeah, she thinks to herself, I must have let myself believe that we were on good terms, which is such a telling way to phrase it.
Yeah, and they were at the beginning of the fight and the middle of the fight, just at the end, maybe not so much.
The way you're talking about this makes it so clear to me. This is a high school cafeteria scene. And she just got kicked out of her friend group. And she doesn't have a table. To sit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what this feeling is.
And that's where we started the story. She eats lunch in the bathroom because she doesn't have anyone to sit with. Yeah. And she's back there, but now she's back there in the world of capes, which is the world she joined to avoid that. Yeah. Like, they're not bullying her, but she still is feeling, I mean, she even says it. It's kind of that school feeling of being abandoned by her friends. She sort of did the abandoning, but And
it is really nice, too. Another way to look at it is, right, she's struggling with her identity, but you get Tor of every single kind of cape in the story, right? It's like, here are the villains, you know, here are the heroes and the different flavors,
rogues,
you know, right? Here are some rogues. There are some notable absences, right? The Coil style villains aren't there, but she sort of, in this moment, can cast her eyes around and really imagine herself in any of these other cape shoes if she wants to.
Yeah, but she doesn't fit in with any of them. There are other people who are glaring at them, like Panacea, well, mostly glaring at Tattletale, but, you know, lumps Taylor in with that.
Yeah. Obviously,
the wards and the Protectorate are not thrilled with them.
Yeah. It's also such a good reminder, right? We get the stakes of like a quarter of you will probably die, even if it goes well. And we also get, at least with the local capes, a survey of all of the people who we've met in the story so far, right? Like with the Protectorate, the Wards, Empire 88. I love the little details. Like, okay, here's Glory Girl and Gallant and Panacea who hates Lisa, right? Like, it's really fun to see all of the side characters basically in one room before whatever is about to happen happens.
Yeah, and it's funny, the stakes for the characters are this thing where a quarter of them are about to die. I don't know that I really super feel that as stakes like for the reader, because I don't really expect to lose any characters we care about. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Wildbow throws curveballs, and I should not underestimate him. But I feel like the stakes for me as the reader are, well, I'm invested in this being a good fight because I bet it's going to be real fun to read. And I want Taylor to perform well in front of all of these important, powerful capes. And I'm really invested in this thing where she doesn't have anywhere to belong now. It's so tough because she, sort of due to circumstance, but also her own anti-authority, a bias, I guess, is in this position where she's been rejected by all the heroes, but she is in fact too much of a stickler for morality for the villains who she pissed off. So she's like in this horrible in-between state where no one likes her, and I just want that to resolve. Like,
I know, yeah.
I mean, I guess also, like, this isn't stakes, but like things that are pulling me through where I want to read the next chapter. I want to know what this Endbringer is. So there's just like a bunch of different things, but like the biggest unresolved emotional thing for me is Taylor's sense of belonging. And of course I do want her to get back in with the Undersiders, like, soon. And it's possible that will be dragged out for much longer than I expect. You never know. But I want that to resolve.
Yeah.
In her favor.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly, like, she pissed them off. Like, I feel like if she is apologetic, it might take some time to thaw, but yeah, I don't know if she will get there on her own because she was so emotionally hit by the Dinah discovery. But, you know, if the bonds that they have are strong enough that, like, you know, a couple of people save each other's lives during this fight, like, she might be emotionally in a place where she wants to give them a chance to, you know, reconcile a little more.
Yeah, and I wonder if stuff like feeling rejected by Sundancer, who hasn't personally betrayed her recently, will give her a sense of perspective on that kind of thing as well, right?
Well, go on. What do you mean?
Like, she's probably right. The way she left things with Sundancer, we got that great moment of, like, my hands were bloody, and Sundancer flinches away, right? Like, so this is clearly, Sundancer is ignoring her because she thinks Skitter is creepy, scary, super violent, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also, to some degree, Taylor projecting and feeling guilty, right? It's like, this is how she's interpreting that behavior. She's like, oh yeah, I really did do something extreme there, right? Like, she recognizes, she's with it enough to recognize that. So I do wonder if that will give her any ability to extend an olive branch, kind of to take a second look, right? If she's feeling like she's been not seen or misunderstood. I also feel like we had a little bit in the opening of the chapter, a little bit of Taylor's cynicism, because she talks about...
She's like, people are dumb.
Yeah. People were stupid. A chronic condition of our society that so many people somehow thought they were special, the exception to the rule. In this panicked crowd, every rule was being broken.
And she, of course, wants to be special, right? Like, that's her whole cape thing.
It's also very teenager, like, oh, gosh, people, like, but I'm not a person like other people are, right?
Other people are dumb because they want to be special, but I actually am special.
Yeah.
Please, God, don't let me be normal. Is that the Fantastics line?
Right, exactly. There's a little bit of it, the same way that I feel like we've seen before, she has very high expectations for her own behavior, and it's really easy for her to be like, well, I know and would follow all the rules, and I expect everyone else to do that too. Like, I feel like that's a
I relate to that a lot
for her. Yeah. And I mean, she's sort of right about people. It's just the lack of self-awareness is fun to point out. There's also, right, so she's worried a little bit, right, about seeing people she previously hurt, right? She sees all the PRT vans and stuff, right? I thought that was a really interesting moment. And it almost feels like parasocial to me, because like she's done enough that like there are people out there that she doesn't know.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a celebrity.
Have interacted with her. Right, exactly. And there's the beat before she gets the flyer. Right. The police officer, like, I could see the eyes on the officer nearest to me widen in recognition. And I'm like, it's like, we don't really get a detail there. Right. But like, what does that expression mean? What does it mean to Taylor? Right. Like.
And then the other one, like, puts a hand on his arm and then hands them the flyers.
Yeah. But is that just like, oh God, it's her, like.
I think so, like, oh, villains.
Right. Is it like, oh, she's, like, that's the one who, like, punched me the other day,
I don't know. How much footage has gotten out from the gala?
Yeah.
I'm sure they've tried to suppress it.
Or is it like...
She hasn't punched police officers, has she?
I guess. And it's also unclear, right, how hero-villain relations work, right?
Well, how are they going to work in this fight? Like, it's so hard. Like, this is what Legend is saying. It's good that we have this time to strategize, to work together as a team. Like, with teamwork, we'll be able to hopefully make this one of the good days. But how are they all going to work together? There's so many of them. They don't know each other's powers. They probably don't want to be fully open about each other's powers. I mean, I guess it's a macrocosm of what we saw when the villains were all fighting the ABB.
Yeah.
And that did, work out okay. So, but this is so many.
Right.
How are they going to are they going to organize into like squads and
And there's this
maybe by type. Ooh,
that could be fun. We might learn a little more about cape classifications.
Yeah, classifications.
The countervailing beat in the chapter, though, is when the beautiful metal boy claps his heavy hand on Taylor's shoulder. And she has a sort of like paranoid moment of like, I guess we're allies for now. But like that act of solidarity, like he gets warped in and like Skitter, maybe he doesn't know who Skitter is, but Skitter is obviously very villain coded. Yeah. Right. And so like just the beat of this out of town guy showing solidarity with a random villain coded person is kind of,
Yeah, they're all here for the same purpose.
Right.
We're a little fuzzy on what it is, but fighting the Endbringer.
Yeah.
I wonder what Tattletale will contribute to this fight. She'll have some intelligence, but how much is she going to want to share? I mean, I guess she will, because they all have to. Like, that's what this is about.
Right, yeah.
And I guess at this point, Armsmaster probably knows enough about her power that it's not going to be spilling any huge secrets.
Yeah. It's all very interesting. I mean, what is Taylor going to contribute?
Bugs, I guess.
Yeah.
She's very resourceful. She'll do fun stuff.
Exactly.
I wonder, Legend is in this position. He says, like, this could be one of the good days. Just the impression you get from that is like, man, this guy has to do this so often. Like, presumably not that often. It's still a big deal when it happens. Like you were saying, it's not like every city gets hit, like, every few years or something. But, like, he's been through so many days like this. And he's probably looking around the room, and there are a lot of, like, not very strong people in that room. Like, the ability to animate stuffed animals, what's that going to do for you?
Yeah.
The looking like you're an 8-year-old baby, but, like, you're actually old. Like, what is her power? I don't know. Like, how is she going to be able to fight? Like, some of these are not combat-oriented capes. And
they still showed up.
Yeah. Like, Legend must just look around at rooms like this and be like, we're going to be so thinned out.
That also reminds me of, like, just Tattletale's reaction at the end of 712, the last arc, when she's like, we would all understand if you didn't go. Right?
Yeah.
Legend, it's like, why would you say this? It's just like, you have to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want anybody here under the illusion, you know, like...
But some people probably are here not for the sort of like, well, all hands gotta show up reasons, but like, if I rub shoulders with the Protectorate, like, maybe they'll remember me. Maybe I'll make a good impression. Maybe I can make some good connections.
And the heroes, right? We learn, you know, the new wave kids are here, right? We learned that Shielder is one of the kids, perhaps why his name sucks.
Because all the good ones were taken.
I just mean, like, if he's,
they all get names
15
as
or
kids,
whatever.
probably.
Yeah.
He should have been Shield Maiden. Screw gender.
Love that. Yeah. But they're there because it's like bad PR if the good guys don't show, right? Like, you know, like it's a little bit of a different
we don't know that
reason.
That's why they're there.
Isn't that kind of like Taylor thinks like all of the local hero teams
Taylor
had to show up.
does think like, I guess they couldn't have stayed home, but that doesn't mean that's why they're here. It's true. Like they didn't really have an option, practically speaking.
Yeah.
Whereas the villains, no one's going to be like, I mean, they can think bad things about them, whatever. The villains don't care about that. So
Right. Well, some of the villains, you know, like some of them do.
Like, why
right?
is Empire 88 there? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Is it because like Purity's like, no, we have to save people. Aster is in this town. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, I feel like given the Lung versus Kaiser fight, the way that they both were like wailing on each other, incredibly confident in their abilities, I just feel like that personality is never going to want to be seen missing a point. Like, Lung would be here too if he wasn't in the birdcage
that's such
or
a
dead.
good point. They want to be the ones to bring down the Endbringer, of course. Okay, so it's not like selflessly risking their lives. It's like showing off the size of their power.
Yeah. I mean, the glimmer of hope in Armsmaster's eyes, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these people are cut from the same cloth.
He's standing taller than Taylor's ever seen him. He's the one, he and Dragon have credit for knowing that the Endbringer was coming and giving him this warning.
Yeah.
He is really doing well in the eyes of the Protectorate at large right now.
That's right, and he gets called out by legend.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It's like the biggest day of his life. What if he dies?
Yeah.
I could see it. Though, it feels like a little bit like it would be a loss to the story complexity to have the one Protectorate member who knows about Taylor. No, but that means there wouldn't be any Protectorate member who knew that Taylor had originally started out trying to be a good guy, which actually like kind of screws her over in a great way.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Armsmaster at least could vouch for her intentions makes a huge difference if she ever gets caught and needs to defend herself.
Right.
Now there would be no one. Okay, so I think Armsmaster's going to die.
And that's an interesting, the sort of like, we've been sort of wondering like, well, why hasn't he given her up yet? Right?
He hasn't given her up because he's going to die and then he'll be the only one who knows. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. No one would be able to tell she's telling the truth if she said it, except probably Tattletale, who's not trustworthy.
There are too many capes to go through individually, and they're just all like a paragraph at a time. But like, did anyone else stand out to you? Should I run through some names?
We got a long description of Metal Boy. I feel like he's going to really play into things.
Yeah. What else did you observe about him?
Let's see. Shirtless, muscled boy with metal skin. Tines of a fork sticking out near his neck, and what might have been the wires of a chain link fence half melted into his opposite shoulder. That's really weird. Like, does he pick up metal and absorb it into his skin? Oh, he must be welder, right? He's gonna... Weld, sorry. Yeah. That must be Weld. He's going to be the leader. He's talking
to Aegis later as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's Weld. I'm happy to confirm that. It's Weld. I didn't want to say until you said it,
fair. But what does he, like, pull other metal into his body?
It's
like,
ferrous biology.
Oh, that's true.
Made of Ferris wheels.
But why would he have a fork? Like, did he make that himself? Cool. Maybe he thinks it looks
Maybe
cool.
Maybe it got stuck to him, you know.
Yeah, is he magnetic? I don't know. He does have, like, musculature that's perfectly etched in the metal. Fascinating.
He sounds hot.
I mean, clearly.
I really enjoyed Taylor calls out several capes who are hot.
Yes.
Legend is hot. Narwhal is hot.
Narwhal was so cool.
Alexandria sounds hot to me.
Yes, Taylor does not call that out. Taylor's not at least being open with same-sex attraction.
Well, Narwhal, she's into Narwhal.
Well, okay, that's true. Oh yeah, I want to read the description of Narwhal. She stood 7 feet tall with a curtain of glossy pale hair extending almost to the backs of her knees. She was unclothed, not even wearing a skin-tight costume. It's kind of like a Mystique vibe.
Yeah.
On her long-limbed body, but it somehow wasn't obscene. Her skin was layered with fine crystal scales that caught the light and scintillated with faint rainbow hues. A single horn stood out from the middle of her forehead, 3 feet long. So this is kind of like Canary, where she's like partially transformed into a narwhal.
Yeah.
But like, what's her power?
Yeah.
She also seems, well, maybe she transforms into this narwhal form, but she seems like she could be one of the monstrous capes.
Well, she was called out by Faultline as someone who has overcome the Manton effect.
That's true. She seems to be, most likely, the kind of cape who operates well in water, which could make her extremely effective in the upcoming fight.
Very cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of airborne capes. Like Alexandria and Legend are both flyers. We have Glory Girl. You know, we have a bunch of people like that.
Dragon has a flying mech.
Yes. And it is sort of a question of like, okay, what are the Undersiders going to do? They are not people who have like water-specific powers.
Well, it's fun because they're in the like, they're just the chum. They're like the,
exactly.
the little
the
rando guys.
Fodder.
Right.
Yeah. Them and Bambina are just going to be slaughtered.
Yeah. I had a couple, again, I won't go through them in exhaustive detail. I did want to call out, we see this high-powered teleportation cape in Alexandria's retinue. That just jumped out to me as like, what a cool power.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to warp. Presumably they're coming from all over the country. So like, this is a really, really powerful teleporter. And it's like, it's awesome that guy is working with the Protectorate.
I wonder if this is like Alexandria's team that she always fights with. Like, well, how cool would that be? Being like, I get to pick the capes with like the most effective and compatible powers with me, and like people who work really well on a team with me. I'm just going to handpick them because I'm the coolest cape in the world. Yeah.
Bastion, the canceled hero, I really enjoyed as a just a like, it's a really great hero as celebrity thing. He's been canceled for being like someone's cell phone recorded him
yelling a racial slur at someone who's trying to take a picture of him. Yeah.
There's like this great, it's like comic relief from Kaiser, where like Kaiser is like trying to make eye contact with him and Bastion is like shamefacedly looking away.
Well, it seemed like Kaiser was like kind of laughing at him. You know, people get down on us, but look what you're doing.
Yeah. But it's just a great detail of like, of course, heroes are going to be getting canceled all the time.
Yeah, and it is like a celebrity culture, right? Like it would be, you know,
there
all this
is
attention.
Haven.
Oh,
the team from the Bible Belt of Christian capes. Such a fun detail. There are some like corporate teams of capes, which we haven't heard anything about before.
Fascinating. And it seemed like the two corporate teams that were there were like in some kind of rivalry.
Yeah. One of the wards who has like needles and a crossbow is like bringing Parian over to talk to Shadowstalker, which to me reads as like, oh, you're a rogue? Come talk to this former rogue. You know, like...
And Shadowstalker's like not into it.
Yeah.
Shadowstalker really is coming off in the narrative as like such a difficult personality. And like there's so much character to her for someone we haven't actually interacted with at all. I wonder in what way, if at all, she's going to become a bigger part of the narrative.
Fascinating. Yeah.
She seems like a real annoying person.
You mentioned Bambina. Just really weird, unexplained.
What is her power?
Creepy.
She looks, it's sort of like a Dakota Fanning in like the Twilight movies or whatever. It's just like perennial child appearance, but like, is that her power or...
Chevalier has a cannon blade. That's the thing that he's carrying, which I think is awesome.
What does that even mean? It sounds cool, though.
Yeah, it's a sword that's a gun, I think. It's a sword that's a gun.
Okay, all right.
It's very Final Fantasy. I love it. And I will say, for the sake of our listeners' imaginations, really quickly, the aesthetic of the Triumvirate. Because we get Alexandria, dark gray. She has a tower emblazoned on the front of her armor. Legend, blue. skin tight. Eidolon, he's sort of like cowled and in like a blue-green with like green.
But inside his cowl, it's glowing.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. Alexandria shows up with her team. Legend is the face. He's giving the speech. Eidolon is kind of like off in the corner, like staring out the window. Also just kind of like a solitary vibe of some kind.
I don't remember what I predicted for Eidolon. I think it had something to do with like bringing people back from the dead, but it does seem like he has all the powers, so I was, by definition, correct.
That's fair. That's fair. Can't say you were wrong.
I like that Alexandria, like, you kind of just think of it as her name because that is a name, but presumably it's not. It seems like it's referencing the city.
Yeah.
And maybe there's even like an Alexander the Great reference there. That's what she's going for.
Yeah, it's very fun.
All right, so I feel like, there's probably not a ton more to say about this one.
One little detail, again in the context of people who have to be here. I had mentioned like the new wave kids, but I think the better example is Taylor observes wards from like at least 3 different cities all mingling. And she's like, oh, they're trying to like make small talk. And like they have this like false bravado. And it's really kind of upsetting. These like government employed teenagers showing up to die. Right? Like it really is one thing for Taylor to be in this like unique circumstance and also be a protagonist. And she's like, I want to show up. But like, you know, you send your kid to the wards and, you know, you don't want to be morbid about it, but like this is a possibility. You're kind of
sending them into battle.
Like it's a very upsetting piece of the setting itself. Now that we understand that that's what the stakes of this calling are. For once, I really don't have anything on the location. It's a very generic
nondescript building
next to a beach, right? The angle on it, I want to say though, is like it makes it feel really mundane. It's like, it's like a conference, like a hotel lobby space. It's not a fancy gala. It's not the mean streets of Brockton Bay. It's just a place that a city has that people can gather, and like it makes it feel like a real disaster response, or like it makes it feel
Miss
grounded.
Militia found the space.
Yeah. But yeah, should we get into predictions?
Yeah. So I think they'll be broken up into teams. I think that Taylor will be grouped with the Undersiders, and it's going to be real awkward. And I mean, I've already done a lot of predicting of what I think the Endbringer could be like. I think they're going to start fighting it soon. One
last question.
Yeah.
Why no bitch?
Great question. I forgot about that. Oh, because she's evacuating her dogs.
There you go. Great reason.
Yeah. She'll probably join in the fight a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, I have some cape names. I'll give you the sentence, though, because it's not going to do much.
Okay.
There was a quiet murmur through the
crowd.
Yeah.
As
great.
we processed Legend's words. And then Legend is going to give them a briefing on what they can expect. I suspect we're not actually going to get a lot of details about what the Endbringer does, because all of them would kind of know.
Yeah.
And I think Wildbow is going to leave us in suspense.
That'll be tough for you.
Yes, it will. It always is.
Do you want to hear some cape names?
I would love to.
Carapacitator.
Carapacitator. Not capacitate. Carapace. Oh, like carapace, like a bug that's also a capacitor. Okay.
A capacitor.
Carapacitator.
I double-checked. It's carapace and capacitor, but the name is carapacitator.
Huh.
Which, you know, I will very charitably blame Carapacitator themselves. Perhaps.
But what I think is that it is like a bug that has electricity, almost like a firefly kind of thing, that is also somehow combined with a potato. I do think it's like...
Yes, Tater
I do think
third.
It's like a flying, almost like a beetle that can shoot electricity.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So a Case 53?
Oh, maybe. Potentially. Or it's just someone who transforms into that.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. WCM.
Huh. There's not any, like, obvious meaning behind that acronym that I could get. Like, what Carapacitator means.
Warner Classic Movies? I don't know.
Okay, this person's power is that they shorten everything, including their name, but they also just make things short if they touch them. They shrink things. Yeah.
Beautiful. Iron Falcon.
I think it's sort of a flying artillery situation, a la Legend.
All right, so worse Legend. Great.
Worse Legend. I mean, yes, yeah.
I mean,
it's
now
like how there are a lot of worse Alexandrians.
This is really going to simplify the...
Yeah, worse Legend. Yeah.
the Cape Names game. Worse Alexandria. Worse Legend.
Yeah.
Worse Eidolon. Worse Eidolon. Worse Eidolon. Worse Eidolon.
Everyone is worse Eidolon.
Saurian. Saurain.
Okay. Someone, I think this is like a brute class, like someone who kind of grows into a big dinosaur thing.
Very cool, very cool. Strider.
Ooh, it's Aragorn.
Yeah.
I think this is the teleporter.
Yeah, great prediction.
Yeah.
Very good prediction.
Sort of 7-league boot situation.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Okay, well, I expect all of my questions to be answered in the next chapter, so I'm very excited.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, next time.
On Inchworm. Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildbow. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.